Hey everyone, Laura here. Just wanted to pop in for a quick second and apologize for the audio quality issues that are in this episode. I did my best to clean it up, but you're still going to hear it a little bit, and my apologies. We had a new microphone set up with the three of us in one room, and I didn't realize that every time Jess and Tanya moved, the microphone and the microphone arm picked up that noise, and there just wasn't a lot I could do to edit it out. So just wanted to say I'm super sorry, but I felt like the conversation was still entertaining enough that I could go ahead and put it out. So as Emily D. Baker says, make sure to do the like and subscribe-y, all the YouTube-y things, and enjoy this episode. The next part will be out next week. So love your faces.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
This job would be great if it wasn't for the fucking customers.
We're always this stupid. It is you take lessons.
Just calm down.
Oh, fuck you!
You can't handle the truth.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
In other words, be nice, asshole.
So we will get started on this
The
lovely...
mysterious deep dive.
The mysterious deep dive. Okay, so welcome to another episode, a joint episode of Qasincucumber and the Parent Memoirs. I'm Lara Mack.
I'm Tanya Edwards.
I'm Jessica James.
Okay, so we all got together to do this deep dive about a documentary that I saw that kind of blew me away. It's a little crazy. So apparently this has been a cultural phenomenon that I was behind the curve on. How much do you guys know about Lularoe?
I know they're leggings.
Yeah, I know that from the people that I know that buy their clothing and stuff, it's not very good quality. Like they fall apart super quick, but are like super expensive and stuff. That's all I know about it.
There you go.
I just know they have leggings, and I heard people talk shit about it. That's
Yeah.
about it. Like,
Yeah.
because didn't they have some sort of thing where you could see your underwear through them or something? One
Yeah,
time?
like they were like thin.
They were like
and-
super see-through or super thin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the documentary is on Amazon Prime, and it's called Lularich, and it's getting a ton of attention. It's a breakdown of the company and how it began and how it became a cult.
A cult? Lularoe?
Yeah.
A fucking legging cult.
Okay.
A legging cult.
Okay, I'm curious now.
Thank you. Aren't you intrigued?
I am.
I am.
Like I've only had one interaction with a Lularoe rep at a craft fair, and she wasn't very nice. So
And you'd go to a lot of craft fairs, right?
Yeah.
You do that.
yeah,
so-
apparently we were parked in her spot, which it was a parking lot, and she was like, "You need to go move your stuff because I have to get in my trailer to get my merchandise out." And I was like, "Okay."
Fuck you and your leggings, bitch.
Okay, so tell us about this cult. I might want to join.
I know.
No.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
I mean, or we can think of ideas for our own cult.
Oh, that would be so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should come up with a cult idea. Maybe that could be our caper.
Or people usually people in cults have like people give them money and stuff.
Yes. I do have the same birthday as Jim Jones.
Right.
So, Lularoe is a United States-based multi-level marketing company that sells women's clothing. It was founded in 2012 by Deanne Brady. Her maiden name is Startup, which I think is kind of entertaining. And her husband, Mark Stidham, and is currently based out of Corona, California. If you look online, there's very much two factions. There's MLM fans and MLM haters. I personally think MLMs are Ponzi schemes. That's just me.
What's MLM?
An MLM is a multi-level marketing.
Oh,
So it's one of those things where
Fucking-
you join,
Yes.
and you...
and shit like that.
Yeah, right. So basically the way this works is you as an independent
yeah.
retailer.
Do you want to be your own business owner?
Yep.
Make your own hours?
Right.
Set your own schedule.
have part-time work for full-time pay.
Right. Okay.
Do you want to be in control of your destiny?
Yep. All that. All of it.
She's our marketer in our cult.
In our caper.
In our caper.
See, you thought we were telling you these stories to educate you. Really, we were just trying to come up with our next scheme.
Right.
You had no idea.
So if all y'all get a weird ass email, just send $5.
No questions asked. Just send us $5.
Fucking dollars, please.
Oh my God. So, let's talk about these two. They are Mormons, okay? Now, Deanne got married young, had like 7 kids, got divorced. She met Mark, who I couldn't find much about like his childhood, but Mark, his family had done Amway. She had tried to do Amway. Amway was like the original, like patient zero.
Right. So I remember when I was young, this is a funny ass story, right? So I was young, and there was people that lived like 3 or 4 houses down from us, and I was probably in like the 8th or 9th grade, and they had asked, did I want to make $10 on Halloween to pass out candy? And I was like, hell yeah, you know. Me in my head, I'm thinking I'll get my $10 and just give everybody like 5 handfuls of candy and be on my merry way.
Right.
So I get over to their house, and these people were kind of fucking off anyways. I get over there, and he's like got this big bowl of gum next to the front door. He's like, yeah, just hand this out, a couple sticks, you know, and here's your $10. And I was like, okay. So you're looking at it, and it was some kind of fucking Amway gum. And I was like, what in the hell? So I call my dad. And I was like, can you please come here? My dad was like, what? I was like, have you ever seen Amway gum? Is this real? And my dad was like, oh my God, this fucking idiot. He's always trying to get somebody to buy these shakes from him or cleaning products or a brush or whatever. Just dump it all in somebody's bag and come home. I was like...
Oh, man.
Oh, but it was a whole big bowl of Amway gum.
Did you get the $10?
I did. I got my $10 ahead of time because he was like, just lock the door when you're done. And
Oh, and did you just dump?
just kind of dumped some of it out and then, you know, left. I was like, I'm not going to sit here all night and waste my fucking time handing out Amway gum so I can get beat up by these kids in this neighborhood. No fucking way.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God. So they met she was on standby waiting to get on a flight. She finally got the last seat.
Okay.
She happened to sit next to him. And that's how they met. And they just had this like instant connection. Now he had a bunch of kids and they got together and they ended up adopting a whole bunch of more. So they have like 14 kids. Some articles said 14 kids. Some articles said 15 kids. Okay. I don't know. But all of the kids not all of the kids, I don't think, but most of the kids are heavily involved in this company. It very much is a family company. There is a bit, I don't think they realize how creepy they sound. 2 of their kids are married to each other.
So
You should see Tanya's
is it one of the adopted kids and one of the natural kids or
Yes.
something?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So
Right.
there's somebody...
They're not biologically
Okay.
related.
Right.
At least there's not a blood relation, but the way that they talk about it is kind of
Very
creepy.
flowers
Yeah.
in the attic.
It is very flowers.
Oh, man.
What's funny to me is they think it's funny, but they're talking about this, and I'm like, oh, you think that sounds funny, but that actually sounds very creepy. They were like, can you imagine the wedding invitations? Mark and Deanne would like to invite you to the wedding of their son, to Mark and Deanne's daughter. Like having it written out on the wedding invitation. They joked about like how funny that would be. And I'm like, no, that's creepy.
Right.
Not funny at all.
That's creepy. I don't think you realize how creepy it comes off, but it really does. Well, they talk about being Mormons in this at the beginning of this, but the way they break it down, like their faith, they said they believe that they are living in the end of days. They believe in self-reliance, and they believe that ultimately the universe is fair.
Okay.
Okay. That's a white dude. Okay, fine. Of course you think the universe is fair.
Of course, yeah.
Now, what's interesting is when Deanne talks about her childhood, she is the youngest, not the youngest. She's the next to youngest, but the youngest sister, they're twins. So she's 5 minutes older than her sister. Okay. It was very clear from her stories that she shared about her childhood that money was very much presented in a unique way to this family. Her ancestors had been homesteaders. They had come across the plains and all that good stuff, and they came out west and they were entrepreneurs. They were salesmen. They had a candy company or something. And their dream was to own a catering company. Okay. So they had done this big catering job. And her mom came home with like stacks of cash. She'd gone to the bank and cashed the check and had gotten all the money. It was like $5,000 in $5 bills. And she came home and she stood on this like landing area at the top of the stairs and had all the kids stand down below. And she made it rain on her children.
Did they get to keep it?
And yes, she was like, this is all for you. We do this all for you. And it was like money flying And it really made this impression on her of money. I want the money. I want the money. And you can tell that through her interview. She's very much like, I want the money. Just give me the money.
Okay.
Tanya can't even. You made it rain.
I would never make it rain on my kids unless it was like rolls of quarters.
Right, yeah.
That's
yeah,
called
that's
making
what
it
I was
hail.
thinking. Like,
Right, yeah.
That's called making it hail.
hail.
That's not making it
There
rain.
you go.
Right, yeah, because whenever you were telling that story, I could just picture me, like standing over Avery and Sophia with not dollars, but like a couple rolls of quarters. Going at them. I don't know.
With slingshots.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, if I hit you with it, you get to keep it.
So stand still. Don't move.
You want this quarter, right? Jesus. Oh my God. Now, her and Mark got together, and one day she was at like a swap meet, and she saw this guy there with a booth that he had all these cute, like, kids' dresses.
Okay.
Dresses that she saw in, like, the department stores that were super expensive, he was trying to sell for way less, but nobody was buying them. Okay. And she was like, why? Why is nobody buying these? So she was like, let me have a party for you that we'll have after school one day. I'll invite all the moms to come over. They can take a look at all these clothes and we'll see what happens. Okay. Right? She takes the clothes, and in one party, she sold like 300 dresses.
Okay. So it's like I always assumed Lularoe was like not really like a party type scene.
It kind of
where you
is.
like have the evening party and they shop, and then
Right.
somebody else has to sign up for a party
That,
during
like,
the party.
Chef.
Yeah, that is part of it. Yeah. So they started off with these dresses.
Okay.
And she would do 5 parties in Utah, 5 in Arizona, and 5 in Vegas. And doing that every few months, she'd make like $40,000 in profit. Right?
Where did these dresses come from?
That I wanted to ask that, but I didn't
don't
feel like it
know.
was
That's
relevant.
a great question. If anybody knows where they came from.
Because, I mean, did they fall off the back of a truck?
I don't know.
Or, did they have boosters? There's so many ways that you can get clothes. Were they just knockoffs?
Yeah.
It's entirely possible. I don't know. So she did that for apparently many, many years. And then one day her daughter said, hey, can you make me a maxi skirt? Because she knew how to do the basics of sewing. Okay. And she was like, sure. Well, then her friends saw it and were like, oh, that's cute. Can you make me one? So they started making these maxi skirts and offering them. So it wasn't just clothes for the little kids. It was clothes for the moms. Right? And it just blew up. So she would call her husband before he came home for the day and would say, hey, go to the fabric store and just pick out fabric. And they would pick out whatever fabric that was on sale, basically. And no matter how crazy the pattern, didn't matter, whatever. But that also fed into the exclusivity of it, because they got to say to these people, if you like that pattern, you need to get it now. Right. Because I don't know if it's ever going to be back. Right. Which, people tend to be motivated. It's that fear of missing out. Yeah. Like, oh, I just got to get it now.
Well,
right.
Yeah, like when you buy something at TJ Maxx or you see something at TJ Maxx, you better get it then because you're
it's
probably
gonna be gone.
never going to see it again.
Exactly. So in 5 months, they sold 20,000 maxi skirts. So then they started selling those. Pretty much that became the big focus. At one point, and this is really where Lularoe was born. Okay. At one point, a woman came to her and was like, hey, I have a bunch of friends that want to buy some of these skirts, but they all can't come down here. Can I look through everything you have and pick some out for them? And she was like, sure. So this girl came to her van where she had all this in and dove in head first and picked out a whole bunch of stuff. And that's when they realized, oh, I could give these to people and they can sell them so that I don't have to spend all my time. I'm not the only one selling these. Right. It's you are now an independent retailer and you're buying them from me. And that's what they figured out at that moment. If they let her have them for $10 a piece, and then she turned around and sold them for $24.99, everybody wins. And they only cost like $2 to make. So everybody's getting a profit all the way around. And that is the way that Lularoe was born. The name comes from their 3 oldest granddaughters, Lucy, Lola, and Monroe. And they talk about the beginning of this from like 2013 as being This wasn't about making money for them. It was about creating something for their kids, number one, like an empire to leave them.
Sure.
But it was also about, they talk a lot about when they stopped asking, what do I need to be successful? And started asking, what do we need to do to help other people be successful? That's when the business kind of blew up.
Okay.
And they really started pushing that full-time income with part-time hours. That was the message before you joined. Of course, after you joined, it was, well, you're not making money. You get into, or you get out of it what you put into it.
Right.
You know, it's this bait and switch that all MLMs do.
Yeah.
They try to make it sound like you could just do this in your spare time and
Right.
you'll make all this money. No, you won't.
It's actually quite time consuming.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just to be honest, most of the time whenever you have one of these, you're pretty obnoxious and your friends avoid you like the plague because every time they see you, it's not how you doing. It's, hey, you want to buy my fucking leggings? How about a candle? You want some eyeliner?
And that's what a lot of girls, one of the girls at the end of the documentary said, that a bunch of her friends were like, oh, thank God we have our friend back.
Right.
Because they were sick of it. We don't want to hear about this shit.
Yeah.
We don't want to buy fucking leggings from you.
Right.
Just leave us alone.
Yeah.
Right. If I wanted some leggings, I would just go to Walmart and get some, dummy.
Thank you.
Well, now I know I'll never try to sell my stuff to you guys. Jeez.
You want to buy... You know what? That's different.
She's not up in the...
With a trunk full of bags and blankets and shit like, so this week I have,
She's not like Pete who gets up in my face like, do you want to buy one? Do you want to buy one? Yes, you need to buy one. You just have to pet me. Just pet me and love me.
She's
like,
she's not calling us
No.
every week forcing her wares on us. Like, she has her Facebook and stuff like that.
forcing her wares.
Yeah, she's not pushing it off on everybody.
No, I was teasing.
Yeah.
No.
It's not, yeah.
No. Here's the thing. Here's where the leggings happened.
Yes, okay.
At a certain point, they started offering these leggings that were what they call magic leggings.
Yeah.
They were thick.
Mm-hmm.
They were buttery soft.
Yes.
And they only came in 2 sizes, but they fit everybody.
Yeah.
And there was like a plus size option, and then there was a regular size option, and they fit everybody. And people flipped out over how comfortable they were. They were just, oh my God, it's the most amazing thing
But
ever.
weren't they like really expensive though?
They were.
And honestly, the designs were ugly as shit.
Because I went to Lane Bryant yesterday and I was looking at leggings to work out in. I was like, fuck right off. Because I'm not paying $54.99
for a pair of leggings.
pair of leggings.
Well, I'm also not a pattern person,
Yeah.
so I think that's also why this never appealed to me. I don't like a lot of patterns in what I wear personally. I'm not a crazy pattern person.
Yeah.
And throughout this whole documentary, I'm looking at all these clothes that they've got, and I'm like, this is some of the ugliest shit
Right.
I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, I wanna say a pair of their leggings get $20 or so. I could be
they were
totally
like 20,
wrong.
$30, something like that. So let's see. So in 2014, they added the leggings that had the 2 sizes. Now, here's what was unusual for an MLM. You couldn't order inventory and choose what patterns you got. You got what they gave you.
So you just bought leggings and it was a surprise.
Yeah.
Kind of like a subscription
You
service.
I do BoxyCharm every month. And
Yeah.
You
get
could
what you get.
you could dictate sizes.
Right.
But you couldn't choose the ones you wanted as far as the print goes. And I don't know how you can say I own my own business when you don't get to dictate what your product is.
Oh,
Like,
so
I don't
even
understand that.
the people that were selling the leggings didn't have a choice to say, okay, I want this
The
pattern.
independent retailers that are
Okay.
paying the initial $10 a piece to Mark and Deanne,
Right.
they can't
They just
choose.
got whatever they got to
and they were
distribute
expected to sell it.
without customers being able to choose what they wanted. Or
No,
just,
customers could choose what they
so it was
wanted.
just the people receiving the stuff to sell.
Right.
Gotcha.
I don't know how you
Okay.
can say that you own your own business.
if you can't manage your own inventory.
Right. You don't get to choose your own inventory. That feels weird.
Yeah.
But Mark and Deanne pushed this thing that we never told people to go into debt to do this. We never told people to go into debt. Yeah, there's ways to say it without saying it. Because the base startup package was $5,000.
What?
And it went up to like $10,000, $12,000.
Right. And if your pushing forward your business with the perspective, well, you get out of it what you put into it, then people are going to put more into it to get more out of it.
Mm-hmm. So, and they really pushed this idea, and this is where it really became the cult thing.
Okay.
They really pushed this idea that we are a family. And this is not a clothing company. We're a family company.
Okay.
And they really started pushing that idea of getting other people, get everybody in your life involved in this. And it was just, okay, this does not have to be your life 24/7.
Right.
But they really believed it needed to be.
Yeah.
And they argue this idea because people accuse MLMs of being pyramid schemes.
Right.
Well, MLMs have figured out this very fine line of where the law is.
Okay.
And they're able to say, oh, well, a pyramid scheme is you're not actually paying for a product.
Mm-hmm.
In Lularoe, you are paying for a product.
Right.
Yeah, but it's still not, you're still recruiting your competition.
Right.
Okay. That's the thing. People who get in early, yes, they're able to make tons of money.
Right.
Because
It's early.
It's early.
Yeah.
And they've got free reign of the market.
Right.
Right. But after you've recruited all your competition, oversaturated the market, and you don't have anybody else to sell shit to.
Then it's not that easy.
Exactly. So it really, they walk this very fine line.
Yeah.
But it's not a pyramid scheme because we sell a product. Yeah, but it still works like a pyramid scheme. The law it's one of those things where just because it's legal doesn't mean it's right.
Right.
So, and when they talk about, we didn't tell them to go into debt, right? Yeah, they might not have, but other consultants, they would make videos. And this is the way they got to kind of distance themselves from it. They got to say, well, these independent consultants, they're running their own business. They chose to say that.
Okay.
We didn't.
Okay.
They made these little videos about you can ask for a loan from your bank. You can ask your grandmother to borrow money. You can get interest-free credit card for 12 months. One woman sold her breast milk
To be able to
afford the startup cost.
The startup?
Mm-hmm. She found that you can sell your breast milk to NICUs.
Yeah.
And she made like $4,500 doing it. Yeah. Here's what's funny is throughout this documentary that was filmed, they had this interview with Mark and Deanne, but they also interspersed these video cuts of their testimony, I believe, in their SEC deposition.
Okay.
Right? And in their SEC deposition, they are as indifferent can be. They have no idea about anything. They certainly can't recall anything.
Yeah.
Right? At one point, the dude is answering questions, and he's just stopped looking at the people and asking him the questions, and he's straightening papers, and he's putting clips on papers, and he's organizing stacks, and they ask him a question, and he doesn't answer for like 10 seconds. Like, fiddling with these papers is more important than talking to you.
Right.
It's very dismissive.
Just trying to look like he's busier than what he actually fucking is.
And this fucking Deanne bitch, this raggedy whore, I swear to God, she's sitting here going in her little deposition, well, I don't actually know what my title was. And they're like, what? She's like, I don't know. And they're like, where's the home office? Oh, it's in Corona. What's the address of the building? I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just here.
But isn't she like
She
the owner?
started it.
Yeah.
Right. Like she's
in this interview that she did, she was the boss babe. And that's the other thing is this whole Lularoe thing started during that period of time of the boss babe and girl boss and this hyper feminine language that you saw online that I'm a boss babe. It's about taking a picture it's not real, feminism. It's fake.
Yeah.
And that's all that the boss babe movement or girl boss movement was. It didn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
Whatever. But the two things were kind of going on at the same time.
Yeah.
But she just really is like, in her deposition, she has no clue about anything. She's very much able to, wasn't me.
Wow.
For hours. And you're like, okay, I don't know how well that's believable.
Right.
But all right.
I'm a boss, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. So, let's see. So then they got the kids involved. That was fun. So they got the kids involved to where they were all given different jobs throughout the company. At one point, I think there was their son who was 23 was put in charge of the bonus structure of figuring out how the bonus structure would work. And the only reason they chose him was because, oh, well, he's a whiz at Excel.
All right.
And they just let this kid come up with their bonus structure.
Like, so no, like, financial experience, no
Experience.
business
None.
management
Right.
experience, no.
Just he knows how to work Excel. He knows how to make a pivot table real well. And we're going to let him take a stab at this.
Yep.
Man, I'm just getting all kinds of ideas for
I
our
know.
own little Colvett caper.
Right. And you have 4
Right?
kids at home.
I know.
do
we could
have
seriously
4
put these
kids.
kids to work.
Right?
You
And
have 1 left at home. You have 1 at home. I don't have anybody at home, so I'm going to have to pull my weight with the extra kid.
I don't know. I feel like we could dupe Sophia in pretty well.
Now they really did turn it into a cult.
Okay.
To where we're controlling your life. So
I
this,
think that stems from the whole religious background.
it is. And at a certain point, they talk about that.
Look at that. I'm so
But
insightful.
this one woman showed up for work the first day and was like, I'm coming. I got this great new job. I'm super excited. She worked in like the customer service department. She was walking down the hallway and Deanne saw her
Mhm.
and she was wearing Chanel. And Deanne stopped her and was like, that's not Lularoe. And she said, no, it's Chanel. And she was like, oh no. And she marched her over to the warehouse and made her pick out things to change into right at that moment.
So I was just looking at the website because I've never really looked at the website. They have like,
Oh yeah, because this still exists.
Yeah.
but they have more than just leggings.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
have dresses and...
Yeah, I did not know that. They have shorts, dresses.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there was this designer that was interviewed because eventually they weren't just getting whatever fabrics, they were
Right.
developing their own.
Right.
And they had these designers on staff and they would literally have these designers churn out 100 different designs a day. And the reason why was because no pattern was used more than 3,000 pieces. Why? Because now you're creating this
Right. That
exclusivity.
demand.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So they had to churn through, and so many people are signing up, so they need so much. They can only do 3,000 at a time. So some of these designers were actually pulling artwork, stealing it off of Google, and they were told, "Oh, just change it at least 20%, so we can't get hit with a copyright issue." Now they're being sued out the wazoo by a ton of different artists that are like, "You didn't even change it to 20%. You just ripped off my shit."
Right.
How did that work? Okay. But they told one of the designers one day, they called her in. She was one of their colorists. And they brought her in to promote her. And they were like, we're going to go ahead and promote you, even though you haven't worn Lularoe in a few days. And we did notice that. So we need you to, we are promoting you, even though you haven't been wearing it. So we need you to
So they have to live in Lularoe clothing to be supported by the company.
yeah. Like I said, they turned it into a fucking cult. At a certain point, they were bringing in $1 million a day just from one onboarding team. Now, all the profits that they talk about through this isn't the profits of actually selling,
Okay.
what actually sold. This is just what was ordered by the consultants.
Okay.
Okay. So these consultants, they were getting bonuses for signing people up.
To sell the stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you're recruiting your competition.
Right.
Okay. So every time you signed somebody up, you got a little chunk of that.
Yeah.
And anytime they signed somebody up, they got a little chunk of
Right.
that.
It just
kinda
keeps
like a
staggering up.
pyramid.
Yeah, like a pyramid.
That's why they call it, oh, there we go, light bulb moment. So all of these people are really their bonus checks. I mean, there were bonus checks like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. There were some bonus checks $300,000. Okay. But those were the people who got in super early.
Right, yeah.
Right. And then eventually one girl was like, I used to be the only Lularoe consultant in town. And now there was like 15 of us.
Yeah.
And we could only sell our products kind of to each other.
Yeah.
Because we ran out of people.
Right.
You can't so now they've got all this inventory that they can't do anything with.
Right.
Right. So then they called it, because there would be a wait list for people to get in, to be in Lularoe. People would wait 6 to 9 months and they would get the phone call. One lady was in the middle of her bachelorette party when she got the phone call, and she physically left her bachelorette party to go finish the startup process on the phone. People were flipping out to be part of this because they saw their friends were making a shit ton of money.
Right, yeah.
And everybody wanted to be involved in it, not realizing that it can't last.
Right.
I'm looking on here, and I just saw some really cute pencil skirts.
Okay, you need to stop it right now.
Well, I read their little motto, and I think that's quite interesting.
Oh,
I
the
didn't read
blessing
that.
families
Yeah.
or whatever?
We believe every individual is beautiful, unique, and most of all, powerful. And through these attributes, we believe anyone can create and live a life of purpose and gratitude. These beliefs are why Lularoe was created. They bind us together like threads, sewing us into a community of lasting love and fellowship.
Wow.
Amen.
Amen.
So,
The funniest person in the documentary was this black lady. And she's like, I don't understand, these white women are spending $5,000 to $10,000 for some leggings.
right?
Like, I don't understand it. And at a certain point, she became a consultant, right? And they started doing these Lularoe cruises where they would market it, or they would put it as like a leadership conference where you were going on this trip and you got to do seminars and workshops
Right,
and all
yeah.
kinds of stuff. And they all talk about how wonderful these were. And she was like, I got invited to go on the cruise, but look, I'll just say it. I'm not getting on a boat with a bunch of white people.
Smart woman.
She was just like, I'm sorry. This is not, I just was not my thing. I had to say it. I'm sorry. I love you, white people. I love you, white people. She kept saying, she was like, I don't want to be
really
in a boat.
blame her.
Because this was very much a white girl
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and that's how they really pushed it.
Yeah, because I've never seen any of my like non-white friends be like, "Girl, did you get them new Lularoes?" You know,
Thank you.
I've never seen my white friends do it either, but still,
Right,
that's
yeah.
probably because we're all, that we're not bougie like that.
Right.
So they also took advantage of like social media.
Yeah.
That moment of the first rise of the first influencers.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
they really took advantage of that as well and wanted you to, everything good in your life, they wanted you to post. Now later they pretended like they had no idea what this was, but they wanted you to post pictures of your fabulous life and hashtag it with the hashtag because of Lularoe. Right. And if you put pictures of things, like one lady talked about, she had put up a picture of her new car and she didn't mark it with that hashtag, and Deanne was just fucking furious with her. Basically, everything good in your life, you need to give us credit. Yeah, you owe to us. It's the cult
Yeah.
leader mentality. It's kind of like in Scientology. When you and I did our Scientology deep dive, what did we say? Everything bad that happens to you is your fault.
Mhm.
Right? Everything good that happens to you is because of the
Because
cult.
you believe in the supreme being of L. Ron Hubbard and his mistress Zyborg. Fuck he's got going on.
She never can remember Xenu. She just
Yeah,
can't.
whatever.
It just
Yeah.
physically, that word will not physically implant in her brain. She just can't.
I know it starts with a Z.
You know that. Actually, it starts with an X, but okay.
Oh, whatever. Well.
You just proved my point.
That's fantastic.
Oh my God. Like what you hear? Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or your favorite podcasting platform. And follow us on our Facebook page by searching Q as in Cucumber. Don't forget to check out our other show, hosted by me and Jessica James, called The Parent Memoirs. And we want to hear from you. Share your stories by emailing us at qasincucumber@yahoo.com, and you might just hear your stories on a future episode. Love your faces!
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.